Hello and welcome to my channel. I am BeardedDev, bringing you another SQL tutorial, and this is actually a request I've had on the channel. Don't forget guys, if you do wish for me to produce any videos on any content or anything you're struggling with, do put the details in the comments below and I'll do my best to get a video up as soon as possible. So we're going to be talking about self-joins, and I thought I'd have a look at hierarchy tables as well. If you do enjoy the video, please do hit that thumbs up button, and if you are interested in videos on business intelligence, SQL programming or data analysis, do subscribe to the channel as well and check out the other videos. There is a lot of great content on there. We're going to go over to SQL Server Management Studio now and start talking a bit about hierarchy tables first of all. Hierarchies are all around us in the real world. If we think of the closest hierarchy to us, that really relates to family. So we have grandparents or parents, there are children, and that relates to different attributes that we refer to within a hierarchy as well. So a hierarchy will always have sort of a parent-child relationship. On the other side we have locations. So in the UK we have country, county, city. Dates form a natural hierarchy as well. We have year, month, date. And if we notice as well, so date always belongs to a month and a month always belongs to a year. So we can follow the hierarchy through that way as well. And then in terms of our workplace, we generally have a director, manager, staff. There might be other levels as well. And this is what we're going to focus on in this example. I think it's a pretty good scenario to go through. And we're going to talk a bit about how to create a hierarchy table. So we're going to be looking at this scenario of staff. Now, if we think about this, we're going to be looking at these three levels of director, manager and staff. Now, if we had a separate table for each and we had keys to join them together, that would be perfectly fine. But we can just have them in one table and we'd have a reference to their parent or to the child. And that is when we're going to move on to self-joins. So I'm going to go ahead and start off just creating a very simple table for this scenario. So I'm just going to open up with a create table statement. We're just going to call it staff. So what I'm going to have first of all is just an ID. So I want an ID column in here. So I'm just going to call that staff ID. That's going to be an integer and an identity column. It's not going to be null. And we're going to add a primary key constraint on there. So primary key staff. I always like to put PK, indicating it's a primary key, table name, so our staff table, and then the column it refers to. So when I'm querying constraints, it actually makes sense to me. If you haven't seen my videos on constraints, I have got some on the channel. If you don't explicitly give your constraint a name, then SQL Server will automatically assign one for you, but it won't actually mean anything to you. It's just some code. So I'll set that as a primary key. In here I'm also going to have a title, so we'll have StaffTitle, and that'll just be VARCHAR. We'll set that as VARCHAR 50, and we'll set that as not null as well, so we'll presume that we always know their staff title. And then what we're going to set is what we're going to use for our self-join shortly, is we're actually going to set a manager ID. So I'll just enter that in again. Again, that's going to be an integer value, and that can actually be null. So if we think about our scenario at the top, if we say the directors at the very top level, they wouldn't actually have a manager ID. So they'd have their staff ID, but they wouldn't actually have a manager. There's nobody they report into. They're the managing director of the company. Now, what is interesting about hierarchy tables as well is that we can also add a foreign key constraint. So we can add one here on the manager ID. Now this is a bit different to other foreign key constraints that you might have come across, because it's actually going to be referencing the same table. So we'll go ahead and add that in. So again, I'm going to add another constraint. This time it's going to be foreign key. Again, I like to put the table name, but it's completely up to yourself, whatever you call it. So it's going to be a foreign key constraint, and it's going to be on our staff table. I'll just add the column name there. So that's going to be on ManagerId, and the references, if I can spell today, are going to be our staff table, and it's going to be column StaffId, and I'll just add that to our primary key here as well. Okay, so I've now got a create table statement. So I'm going to go ahead and execute that now. And once I've corrected the syntax errors that you can see there, I'll go ahead and create that table. So in particular, we want to look at this foreign key constraint. So we can see this is just the name of the constraint here. It's a foreign key. It's referring to the ManagerId column, but the references are quite interesting. So we're actually referencing the table we're creating and the column, the primary key column within this table. So we're actually putting in a foreign key that references the primary key within the same table. Now why we do that will become apparent shortly. So I'm now going to insert some data into the table. Luckily you don't have to watch me do that. I've already prepared some data to insert. Let me just check I've got the correct column names. So I'll just change this to the correct column name. I'll just refresh my IntelliSense, so hopefully those squiggly lines will be removed. There we go. So I'll go ahead and insert some data into that table. Sorry, not StaffId, StaffTitle. There we go. So we've inserted 7 rows, and we can see there we've got director, we've got some managers, and we've got some executives who are at our staff level here. So if we go ahead and now have a look at this table, so I'll just run a select all from our staff table. So hopefully you can see the results clearly on the screen. So we can see we've got our director, we've got our manager, we've got a couple of managers, and then we've got our employees. So in this scenario we've got a director, sales manager, marketing manager at the same level. Then under the sales manager we've got a couple of sales execs. Under the marketing manager we've got a couple of marketing execs as well. So now we're going to talk about how to join this table together. The thing we need to be aware of when working with queries like this and performing self joins is the actual type of join we want to use. Do we want an inner join or a left outer join? So let's have a look at the different scenarios now. So let's say I want to join the table to itself, and I want to join to show the staff title and then who they manage. So when we're performing a self join, we'll need to alias the tables because they're going to be exactly the same. So for simplicity, I'm just going to alias this as A, and then I'm going to in join to the same table name, so again dbo.Staff as B. Now we can see straight away that my columns, it won't know which ones I'm referring to. Now in this case we want to take the staff title from A, and we're also going to include the staff title from B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these columns. So I'm going to remove the ID columns. We don't need those within our query. So I'm going to select B staff title, and I'm just going to alias that as managers. And then on the join I'm going to say A ManagerId because we're looking at who they manage, and then we're going to join that to the StaffId in table B. So we're going to take the ManagerId columns from A, and we're going to join that to the same table, but we're going to join the manager ID to the staff ID. So we'll go ahead and execute this query now and see what the results look like. So what I have done there is, if I change these titles around, I've got those in the correct order, which is easy enough to happen. So if I go ahead and execute that, that will return the actual result. So we wanted the staff title from B because that's where we're looking at the manager. So we can see we've got our staff title of director. The director manages our sales manager and our marketing manager. Our sales manager manages our sales executives, and our marketing manager manages our marketing executives. So remember, I was talking about different joins there. So if I change it back to the way we had it, so if I just alias those columns and change that to reports to, so the first column of staff title is now our child, so we can see that our sales manager and our marketing manager both report to the director. Our sales executives report to the sales manager, and our marketing executive report to the marketing manager. Now if I change that to a left outer join and go ahead and execute that query, we can see that our director is on here, but he actually doesn't report to anybody. He's the highest level. So that's the difference between working with inner and outer joins when joining a table to itself, performing a self join. So one thing that's clear with this type of hierarchy table is we'd actually saved ourselves some storage within SQL Server. So what we could have had would have been a staff table, and we could have had a managers table, but then we need to duplicate the staff titles. So putting them in one table and having a reference to the same table actually does save us some space within SQL Server. Now if this was made up of an unnatural hierarchy, so what that means is many staff could have many managers. So effectively you could have one manager that manages many staff and one member of staff that reports to many managers. Then we'd have to look at different options. That makes it a little more complex, and we'd have to have a look at maybe having a linking table. So I'd have a similar setup to what I've got here, but instead I'd have another table that would simply store the ID and then who manage it. So we'd have a manager ID and a staff ID, and then I'd have an ID in this table, so the manager ID would be removed and we'd just have an ID that would link to that table. So I wouldn't be able to perform, well, I would perform a self join, but I'd have to go through a linking table to enable that to happen. I haven't come across that scenario where one member of staff reports to many managers. But I'd like to know, let me know in the comments below, have you ever had that scenario? I think if I was in that scenario, pretty much what I'd do is pick my favourite manager and I'd just report to them for everything, to be honest. But I haven't come across that before, but you may come across that working with different hierarchies. The ones we've just discussed today, like dates, you can't have a date that belongs to different months. We can't have a city that belongs to different counties. We can't have counties that belong to different countries. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you have enjoyed that video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Check out my other videos on the channel. As mentioned, there's lots of great content on business intelligence, SQL programming and data analysis. And like I say, this video actually came from a comment to say, can you do a video on this? So I'm more than happy to do that. Just leave your thoughts and I'll upload a video as soon as possible. Again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that notification button to be made aware of when new videos are uploaded. Thanks a lot for watching.